everybody, it's Carla from Casey Creates. I have some Christmas crafting I've been doing, and I have been saying I wanted to come and show it to you, so I thought I would try and take a moment and do a video and show you some of the Christmas crafting that I've been able to get done over the last few weeks. But before I do, I just want to thank so many of you for your kind words of condolence from the passing of our sweet mom. And I just want you to know your words really do comfort me, and I appreciate you. Just your thoughts and prayers, and just keep them coming. We really need them at this time. So thank you so much. Mom slept a lot, and while she slept, Karen and I crafted. It was a really good therapeutic way of just feeling comforted. So the first thing I wanted to do was, I had all pink in mind, so I made a shabby pink little Christmas journal, and it's real small, not many pages, but has all kinds of pretty frilly pink elements to it. So this is the back with my shabby flower, and I layered it with some eyelash trim and rayon seam binding and bling. So that's the back. This is the front. I think it's, I don't have a measuring tape right now, but I think it's about 5 by 5, not including the dangles. And then I have a little image of a girl with her Christmas winter clothes on, and her face is wreathed with pink roses. And these are supposed to represent holly leaves with holly berries, and it just says Merry Christmas here. And inside I have a little bit of green garland with some holly leaves and bling that I made, and a little embellishment there. And this is a pocket made with vintage doilies. And then I have an image here that's sort of vintage rose fabric image, and just a bunch of lace. I hope it translates Christmas. It's sort of hard to do pink and Christmas together, but this is my translation. I just love that organza pleated trim. And then I always tuck something in fairy, so this would be my woodland pink fairy, Christmas fairy page, with the mother deer and the fawn and the little mushrooms, and of course sparkle. Everything fairy has to have a little bit of glimmer. So those have sparkle to them, and these little fronds that I put a little gesso on so they would look like they're snow covered. And then the next 2 pages, I told you it was tiny, it's small. These are the last 2 pages. And there's a pretty, oh, I love this velvet ribbon, by the way. I don't know if you can see it. Hobby Lobby has lots of spools of this really soft velvet ribbon. So I used some of that. I just like mixing all kinds of textures together. And then I have this little rayon seam binding embellishment that I made. And I just cut up some of this dangle to make this little swag there. A sweet little girl image with her doll. And then this is a sweet little pocket that holds tags that you can journal on. This one's Merry Christmas tag. There's unfortunately a gnat. And another one that you could use for gifts or just writing a little note. So there's those 2 pages. And then we're at the back again. So there's my shabby pink Christmas journal. And let's see, here's the front again. Then I made sort of what I call a winter white journal. And it's again vintage. I love this image, but I was using my sister's Mod Podge, and I didn't realize that hers is not the satin one, so it's a little shinier than I would want it to be, but I still like it. And then there's a little Merry Christmas sentiment there that's mounted on a doily. And then I love traditional red and green for Christmas, so I usually don't use these colors, so it's quite refreshing to pull out the reds and greens. And I kind of kept this one on a tattered, yet I don't know, slightly tattered theme, with lots of cotton laces. The spine has a piece, I don't know if you can see, but it's sort of an oval, and it is a piece that I cut off of a sweater, no, a blouse. And there were several of these around the bottom of the blouse, so I cut one out and put it on there. I like to upcycle and use things from other pieces of clothing. And so a satin ribbon rose and a little burlap holly leaf and a green stick pin that was gifted to me. And then on the inside I have a pretty angel page that I just kind of cut the star and used a little here and a little here, and I ringed it with this gold lace to pick up the pretty candles that the angel is putting in the Christmas tree, and it's mounted on beautiful cotton vintage doily. And then this is another pocket page with some beautiful vintage rose print fabric, some tattered cotton fabric, and red ribbon, velvet ribbon. The other thing I don't do much is use just white. I always tea dye it or coffee dye it, but for Christmas I thought it'd be nice to leave some of it white. So this page is again my little ode to fairy world, and there's a image of a mushroom fairy house and a little elf in the window. I love that image. And then just to mix the natural, I put the burlap and my little burlap deer here and the braided trim with the leaves. Oh, and this fabric is, I love, everybody who knows my videos knows I love gingham, but this is truly vintage. I don't think my husband would like me saying that, but this was from a piece of his baby clothing. I didn't cut all of it up, but this was one of the pieces to like a 3-piece outfit, so I said, we've held on to that long enough, I'll be using that. And I do love that. Excuse me. This page is made, these little mittens are just little embellishments that I made out of a piece of wool that I cut up an old wool dress. And this is a fun little green cotton pocket, some Christmas plaid. I call it Christmas plaid. I don't know if that's really what it is or not, but then there's just little strips of vintage lace and plaid covered buttons that I covered, and a little cotton crocheted rosette there. I guess it could get boring if I'm just telling you exactly what you already see, so I'll try to go fast. This is just a decorative page, but I did use vintage doily, and this piece of doily came from my mother-in-law and some linens that I got from her. And then this page has this beautiful jacquard ribbon that I took off of the wool dress excuse me, that I made. Excuse me, I've got some peppermint tea here and I need a sip. I don't like to keep clearing my throat, sorry. And then this is some of the green rayon seam binding, and this pretty lace pocket holds a little snowflake, and these little stiff snowflakes came in a package and I just embellished it. And that's another thing you could take, and if you need a quick Christmas ornament exchange gift, you could run and grab one out of the journal. So there's some of this tattered lace for the bottom, ruffled. And then the next page, I love this page. It's an image of Santa reading to the children. And I think I'm going to tuck the story of the night before Christmas in this pocket and kind of make this an interactive journal. I know last year I did an interactive Christmas card, and I tucked things like Christmas carols in the pockets, and even put a couple packs of hot cocoa in one pocket. And I thought it'd be a fun thing to do, to sit down with a loved one and go through each page and get all cozy and read stories and sing songs together. so that's my idea of making the journal interactive and fun. This is a really bright, vibrant page, and I love the damask print with the flocking. It's like old-fashioned wallpaper to me. My grandma had all that flocking wallpaper on her wall. It was really cool. So there's that page, and then this is a vintage page with the music note fabric, and then I found these really fun burlap doilies, and then I cut out some burlap holly leaves with berries, and I really love these little metal snowflakes. They're very rustic and old looking, and then I just made this little embellishment with a burlap flower on some tatting. So I love that image. The little sisters look like they're going out to play with their Christmas toys, maybe. Or maybe they're going to deliver Christmas toys. Again, it's just the way you want to use your imagination, I guess. And the last two pages, this one is another color scheme I never really used, which is black and white. I love, love, love this wide white rickrack. And then I just printed this onto fabric, Home for the Holidays. And then there's a pretty little vintage doily that I turned into a pocket and trimmed with some of this bling. This is an old vintage button. I even left the old threads in there. And this pretty little trim. So there's the black and white page, and then the last page I copied this tree onto fabric and just pulled out the colors of the ornaments that were on the print to make it three-dimensional. And then these were buttons that I just glued down. I cut the backs off and glued down for the presents under the tree, and then a little angel bead on the top, and again some green gingham. So that's my off-white one. The back is pretty plain. It's got a nice deep pocket on it though, so you could stick tags or even a small notebook or anything you wanted in the back pocket. So there is my winter white journal. See if I can do another quick flip through for you. And I didn't stash much in these pockets, but that is my winter white journal. And then this one is just, again, we were really just crafting with no real direction, and I had these little round ornaments that were just plain cardboard, and I just started covering them. I wasn't really sure what I was doing. Actually, this is the front. So it's got the Merry Christmas sentiment, and then some of those laser cut snowflakes that I embellished. And these are just little small ornaments that I created, and they could be either Christmas tags for gifts, or they could actually serve as an ornament on a Christmas tree. So I was just making, like I said, with no real rhyme or reason, and then tucking the little small ornaments into the pocket of the larger ornament. This one is the Nativity, and I don't use black either, so it was kind of fun to make the ornaments using black trim. So a pretty lacy one. And the next one was the one I showed you first, which is the back, and it's just some snowflake scrapbook paper and a pretty little ornament that tucks down there. So there's my little Christmas ornament. I don't even know what you want to call it. Holder, I guess. I'll call it a Christmas ornament holder. And then I made these fun little mittens that I'm planning to use to hang on a doorknob. Let's see if I can tip this up a little bit more. So you could hang one of those oversized candy canes. This is sewn onto card, but instead of a stocking, it's a mitten. So I thought it'd be fun to stuff with candy that's peeking over the cuff and hang it on a doorknob. So I have 2 of those with the snowflake embellishment. The only thing I regret is this velour fabric picks up so much lint. I'm gonna have to take some tape to those. And I put these fun little candy dangles on them. There's one with a candy cane, one with a little peppermint swirl. And then lastly, I have a paper bag journal, and I really love this one. I used the red and green traditional colors again, and there's just some green seam binding. This is some damask gift wrap that I've had forever. I got it at the Target dollar spot years ago, and sometimes I get tempted to get rid of these colors because I don't use them, and then I remember, oh yeah, Christmas. That's the one time a year where I will really enjoy using red and green, so I held on to them. I have several of the little laser cut snowflakes. There's a gnat driving me crazy, and I have a little card topper there, and this fun little bunting. It says waiting for Santa, and I strung it across with some red thread and the little felt snowflakes. And then inside, kind of busy but fun, I have this swirly burlap trim as a belly band, and then this fun little Christmas card on craft paper that tucks in there, and then one of the little snowflakes I used to be a little stopper for the card. And then there's some tags here. My mom had this punch, and I punched out these mini little tags that I thought were so cute. And there's one that says joy, and I just stuck them on with a little bulb pin. And there's a little Christmas gift embellishment, and then this is a pocket, and on the side I love vintage Santas, so I made 3 little vintage Santa cards, and you can journal on them or use them as gift tags. And then these images are really fun, the little vintage images. I just inked the edges and stuck them down on top of tea-dyed paper. And then again, it's a paper bag journal, so these bags really do allow you to tuck all kinds of things in there. Receipts, Christmas lists, Christmas cards, keepsakes. So I thought that was a neat book form to make for this kind of journal. And then I have this Christmas time is here, happiness and cheer, another little vintage Santa postcard, and the little snowflake embellishments, and then more of those fun little gift tags that were kind of putsy but therapeutic to make. I really enjoyed making these. And then I have this one. It's another gift tag. It says for you, and I decorated the back, and that tucks in there, and these tuck back in there. And I don't know about you guys, but here's one of my little secrets. Sometimes I'm really running late with gifts, and I literally buy the gift on the way to the party and wrap it in the car. Have you ever done that? So if you had this journal with you, you could run, grab a tag, put it on the gift, and no one would be none the wiser. This is a little doily envelope made with parchment or vellum paper. So tuck something fun in there. And then another vintage Santa postcard. And a fun little image again, a Merry Christmas to you. And then these are more bags for tucking things in. So I made a little Santa notebook, and this could be a Christmas list or Christmas journal with little thoughts for the season. I've got a brown parchment little envelope here with tea-dyed paper and doily. And so that just fits down in there. On the next page, I have this fun little clip with the poinsettia on it. Uh-oh, that came off. I have to fix it. And again, a little red trimmed pocket that says peace. some little vintage postcards on red paper, again, because I rarely ever get to use red, so that was kind of fun. And those tucked down in there. And there's some vintage doily, Christmas washi tape, cotton trim, more of these really sweet little tags right here. And then another side pocket where I've tucked quite a few tags, and I call this my little Charlie Brown tree. Just the branches and the ornaments. I thought that was kind of sweet. And it's in a cute little brown paper bag with some string, so it could be a tag. This is a little Christmas card, again, for when you're rushing and don't have time to grab a card. It says Be Jolly, and there's a little space for writing. And another Charlie Brown tree as a Christmas card. And I love this Christmas plaid paper. My sister said they sold this at the Dollar Tree last year, but somehow I missed it. Anyway, she gave me a little piece and I made this tag. It says Joy, and that's fun for journaling on or putting on a gift. And then just another little card topper that says Merry Christmas. So there's that page, and then more of the brown paper bag for tucking loads of stuff in. This is a really vintage page with, I think he's a beautiful Santa. It says Merry Christmas, and then there's another little tag. It's a postcard, and they tuck down in, let me slide this up. They tuck down in here. We'll tip it back. There we go. And just a little winter scene on there. And then this is a cute, there's another one of the rusty little snowflakes and a star clip, and underneath is a notebook with some more tea-dyed paper that you could write whatever you want in there. And I love this really rustic paper with the snowflakes. Can you see that? Yeah. So that's from a paper pad that I think was made by paper, oh boy, I don't know the name of it. It's a very common paper pad though that you can find at Michael's or Hobby Lobby. And then this last page here, well, it's not the last, but another Santa, a vintage Christmas tree tag, and this really pretty vintage floral paper, but it's such a tiny print you could journal on there. And then I love this envelope. I made it with the polka dot paper and more of that red damask gift wrap. And this would be really cool for putting money in, like a money envelope. My kids are at the age where they love to see the green, but this would be good for that. I like to give tangible gifts too, though. We like to unwrap. So sometimes even if I give them money, I'll take the envelope and wrap it in a box with tissue paper so they can unwrap that. They don't mind, so this is the last page, and it's got a little Merry Christmas tag. It could also be an ornament. It says I believe, because you gotta believe or Santa won't leave you anything. That's our story in our house anyway. And there's a little tag here that says ho ho ho, and it can be journaled on. I just kind of stitched around it. Tucks in there. And then the back page is just a little burlap belly band with a red card that you can journal in, and it tucks in there. So there is my paper bag journal. On the back, unfortunately my paper doily got a little tattered. I'm gonna have to glue that back down, but I can just tuck this in and show you that it is a pocket. Goes in there. Another little paper poinsettia flower, and it ties back up with the green ribbon. So this has been a little long, so thank you if you hung in there and watched all my little Christmas crafting that I've done so far. I appreciate it. I really did enjoy making these things, and it's kind of nice to know I've got a little head start on some of my Christmas crafting. And I kind of know what direction I want to go now, because I was just making things to make them, but I really had fun making the little shabby pink journal, and I'm going to try to make another one of those. And I really loved this one. I have, if I can find it, I have this red velour one started. I haven't finished it yet. Again, it's got that tendency to pick up lint, so I'm going to have to do something about that. But I love the start that I've gotten on it so far, and the velvet ribbon and lace and the vintage Santa. So you can see a little bit of it here. But I'll save this one and get it done. And towards, as the season goes on, maybe I'll have this one to show you too. But thank you so much for watching with me. I will look forward to seeing your Christmas makes as the weeks go on. Or actually anything you make, because I really enjoy your videos. And thank you for leaving comments, kind comments, and I'll be back again soon. Everybody, happy crafting. Bye-bye.